Yeah, that's a really great question. I always try to make myself super accessible to all my mentees. So giving them my phone number, connecting with them on LinkedIn, giving them my phone number. I always say if you have any questions, I mean the ship, I really like the ship mentorship portal, but if they don't want to kind of like log on to that, send a message to the portal. And if it's easier, just shoot me a message on LinkedIn or to my phone. And just if there's any questions that come up in the weeks or months before we chat, I always try to help that way. And I've gotten a lot of questions that way and temperature checks per se through those mediums, which I think just build the relationship even stronger. I will like send stuff I see like if I'm scrolling LinkedIn and I see an opportunity or an event that may be good for them, especially like all the events that Ship puts on, I try to DM it to them just to be as helpful as possible in those other mediums. Also, I remember probably like one of the most proud moments I had as a mentee was when I actually got a call from one of my mentees like during the fall recruiting season. And this mentee had been offered an interview, like they traveled him out to this location to interview like on site. And he gave me a call like at the end of that interview. And it was not the call that I was expecting. It was like, you're not going to believe it. Like I completely messed up that interview. I ended up being like a little bit late to the interview because my clock was set because the hours from my time zone didn't match up. And and the people that were in the interview ended up being like really put off by that. I ended up like getting told to like basically leave the full day interview like halfway through the day, and was pretty shook by it, very understandably. And I felt very glad that he was able to reach out to me and just have someone to talk through and just honestly vent and just be like, it's totally okay. Like things like that happen to people all the time, even though you flew out and you made like had to put a lot more time that was invested into the situation. At least you can kind of take comfort in the fact that this happens to a lot of different people. If the company wasn't as understanding, and just kind of like making more logical I guess counter arguments to make sure that they're just not like going through a black hole of bad thoughts. Just saying like, if the company doesn't kind of understand that, like you're going to find a company that's going to better align with your values and is going to really appreciate and see through minor inconveniences during the day of the interview. So I felt really glad that I was able to be there for my mentee that day. And I try to open up those other modes of communication in case anything like that comes up ever.
Yeah.